I mean, I would carry on because, like,
What
that's
would you what would
how
you
I
do?
am. We
Like
would
you'd
just
be
have
like,
a chat with
here's the
people.
slides. You guys figure out what they mean.
No, I would let everybody that's in the everyone would be a panelist and we would just have a conversation.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. There was a
I
time. Wonder if anybody here today was here on the infamous day.
I don't know. I'm
Now, if you all don't know, the reason why we do this in webinar format as opposed to allowing people to come off of mute is once upon a time we allowed people to come off of mute and it did not go real well. There was some naughtiness and some trolls in the room that because of one or two bad actors, we changed format. But either way, either way, some of you guys are probably here for that. Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday, wherever you're coming in from around the country. I'm glad you're here. Um, it is part two, I guess, today of what we started last week. We got into this topic last week of taking our phone conversations and moving that to an appointment. So just a kind of a quick recap. Over the last several weeks, what we were working on some questions that we should all ask of ourselves, some questions that we can be asking our clients in phone conversations to get to a level of agreement. And now we're kind of moving that to the next step, which is taking that connection that you've made on the phone or at an open house and turning that into an appointment. And when I think about this, it is um, these this is not the low-hanging fruit, right? These aren't the people that have called you to say, "Hey, Laura, I'd sure would like for you to come over and talk to me about listing my home for sale." This is not the person that walks into the open house that says, "This is the house that I want to buy. Will you write an offer for me today?" That's not the category of people that we're talking about. Here, these are the people that are in your database, in your world for some reason. It could be a past client. It could be a referral. But overwhelmingly, these are people that you are still building a relationship with rather than that you have a long-standing relationship with. These are people that you probably wouldn't consider low-hanging fruit. These are the ones that have been sitting on the fence for some reason, so to speak. And so we've been going through basically words of agreement to uncover motivation, uncover where their sticking points are, where the friction is in their home buying or home selling process, to get them to a point where they feel comfortable to sit down at the kitchen table with you and talk to you about what it would be like to buy a home or sell a home being represented by you. Okay, so that's kind of a recap from what the topic is. And last week we ran through some of these core principles. So I'll just start with this one. It says people don't meet with agents because the agent wants an appointment. They meet with agents because they believe the appointment will help them solve a problem, avoid a mistake, or gain clarity. Okay. I think far too often on the phone, I'm guilty of this. My mindset is, man, this is about me. I've got to say the right things, and this is all about me. And when that happens, the result is not awesome. Instead, when the conversation is around helping the person on the other end of the line on solve a problem, avoid a mistake, or gain clarity, they're a lot more likely to meet with you. And I won't go through all these slides that we did last week, but I'll just do this one and then we'll jump forward. Is kind of look at this graph at the top here. We got to ask questions that create clarity because clarity creates movement. And then that conviction is what earns you the appointment to actually sit down and present on why it is that now might be a good time for them, why now might be a good time for them to wait, why you would be a good option for them as someone to represent them in their home buying or selling journey. Okay. So if you guys need this full slide deck, it did get posted to the Facebook group last week. I'm saying that because I'm sure Laura did that. because she's a person of integrity. And when she says she's going to do something, she does something. So all these slides are in there from what we covered last week. And this is about where we laid off, laid off. This is about where we left off. We didn't lay anybody off. We didn't fire anybody last week. This is where we left off.
I might be fired though.
This could be Laura's last day. I'm pretty sure. Anybody want to make sure that Laura comes back next week? If you guys think that Laura is amazing, let me know so we can make sure
No,
that she shows back up next week.
all right. What are we doing here?
So this is now that bridge, right? Where we're getting to a point of saying, based on everything that I've shared with you on the phone thus far, here is what I recommend. Meaning, you've told me what your sticking point is. You told me what your friction is. So based on what you've told me is what your motivation, what I recommend is that we sit down for 30 minutes and I'll help you build a plan that will give you clarity about what your next steps look like. You have to be able to explain the benefit of why the meeting is taking place before they're going to agree to meet with you. And so we're going to go through this part right here, which is this conversation script or this framework. And just write this down. This is the formula. So our first step is to label what their concern is. Then we're gonna ask some questions or make a recommendation. If you feel the need, number 3 here is a little bit optional, is to reassure them about what the outcome of the meeting is going to be, and then establish a time. Okay. So, and I might actually add a middle step in here. But here's the go. Here's the label is, okay, Laura, based upon what you told me, what I heard you saying is it sounds like your biggest concerns right now are the timing of doing this, affordability, and making sure that you don't buy the right home. Is that fair?
Yes.
Did I hear that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, cool. I totally understand where you're coming from. Here's what I recommend. We sit down for 30 minutes. And when we sit down, we're going to look at your options. We're going to walk through numbers. We're going to look at some homes for sale. But really what we're going to do is we're going to build a clear plan. And I just want you to know that even when meeting with me tonight, I'm not going to ask you to make a decision. The reality is that even if you decide to wait, at least you'll know exactly what to do next. So would today at 3 or tomorrow at 4:30 be a better time to meet? So let me pause for a second and let's kind of just break that down. So the first thing here is the labeling is, so you've told me that you're concerned about if now is the right time, you're concerned about what that monthly payment's going to look like. And you just don't want to be settle. You don't want to just hop into a home that isn't really the right home. So I'm saying that back to the client just to make sure I get it right. And then asking that question at the end, is that fair? Did I miss anything else? Did I summarize what your objections are? Okay. And they say, yeah, that sounds about right. The next thing is, oh, it's not on here. Here's the bonus material is affirm back to them that you understand where they're coming from. Is Laura, I totally get it. Laura, I have other clients that are just like you. Laura, what you shared with me is very common with buyers and sellers nowadays. So it lets them know that what they're feeling, what their emotion is, what their fear is, they're not alone in that. There's other people in the world that feel that way, and that you understand where they're coming from. Next step is, so based upon that, here's what I recommend. If let's just meet for 30 minutes, and during that 30 minutes, I'm going to walk you through some options. We can talk a little bit about numbers and monthly payments. We can dig a little bit deeper on what that home would have to look like so that you didn't feel like you were buying the wrong home. And really at the end of that conversation, what you're going to walk away with is a clear plan on what needs to happen so that when the time is right, you are ready to move forward. Would today at 3 or tomorrow at 4 be better? Now, what you noticed on that one when I went back through it, I didn't go through this reassurance step. We batted this back and forth yesterday at our sales meeting, and it came up like, hey, do we even need to do this reassurance piece? This even if you decide to wait thing, even if this you won't be pressured to make a decision or asked to make a decision, is that really necessary? And one of our agents said, I don't see that step as being necessary. If I've done a good job listening, if I've labeled their concern, if I have asked, if I've made a recommendation on how I can help solve that problem, I don't feel the need to reassure them that they're not going to be forced to sign something. I mean, either way, we all know we're not forcing anyone to sign anything anyways. But what she was saying was, I don't even address that part. And I think that's totally fair. You might not feel the need to address that indecision. You might not feel the need to address that, hey, this is a no pressure meeting. So if that's you, great, skip it. But if after you make the recommendation, you say, we'll look at options and we'll build a clear plan. When do you want to meet? And they say, I don't know. It seems really early. It seems premature. At that point, it may be more appropriate than to step in with this reassurance piece that says, totally get it. Again, saying back, I totally understand. You're not thinking about moving until next year, which does seem like a long way out. But it's going to be Christmas before you know it. It's going to be the new year. I'll tell you what, Laura, here's my promise to you is that when we meet, I'm not going to ask you to make a decision. I'm not going to even ask you to decide on anything. And even if you decide to wait an extended period of time, at least you'll walk out of our meeting knowing what your steps are so that when the time is right, you're ready to go. And then go to that ask to, so how about today or tomorrow at 4? Okay. So you guys see that pattern there. Label, recommend, reassure, and don't miss that last piece of asking for that time to meet. Okay. And I thought that this was super helpful is y'all know the objections that you hear most commonly. It could be any number of things. And again, remember back, these are just the objections. We're in the point of the conversation where we're trying to set the appointment, the time to meet with them. Right? These aren't the objections you may hear when you're sitting across the table. These are just the ones that as you're setting the appointment, that might come up. Okay. So here's the most common one, right? We're just looking. So think about objections this way. The objection is it's not really a rejection. It's often just a request for safety, for clarity, for timing, or just for a better reason to act. So when someone says we're just looking, again, we're going to affirm it back to them. That makes perfect sense. I'm just curious. What are you hoping to learn while you're looking? Just asking a question back. So I think about this in our business is that we've got literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that look for homes on our website. And some of those we would consider friends and clients, and some of those are strangers that we've never had a conversation with. But regardless, when we notice that someone has hopped on the site and has been kind of doing some searching around for homes in various areas, when we call them, it is the rare occasion where they say, Scott, I am so glad you called me on Wednesday, August the 19th at 8:13, because this is the exact time when I was thinking about buying a home. Man, you nailed it. It's cool when that happens, but that's not the most common thing. Most commonly, what happens when we say, hey, we noticed that you're looking at homes on the site, and they say, here's what they say. We were just looking. Oh, we were just curious. We're not in the market, but we were just looking. Awesome. Well, it's free to look. Well, but Laura, I'm just curious. What were you hoping to learn while you were looking? And then just be quiet. Let them fill in what it is. And whatever they say back, say that back to them in the form of a question. So that makes sense. What are you hoping to learn while you're looking? Well, we were just seeing how much homes are right now in Folsom. Homes in Folsom? Well, yeah, Folsom's important to us because, the kids are starting school next year and we want to be in the right school district. Awesome. How old are the kids? What grades are they going? What grades are they starting? You know, besides school, what else is it? What else has you thinking about Folsom? But that first question is the bridge, or the doorway that gets the conversation going, which is, what are you hoping to learn while you're looking? And then based upon their response, follow up with another question, follow up with another question, and then move through those last steps that we did on the last page. Okay. We're not ready yet. Well, I can relate to that. I hear that a lot. I've been in your shoes, some version of that. So I'm just curious, what would need to happen before you would consider yourself ready? So rather than us assuming that it's, I don't know, saving for a down payment or a low credit score or who knows, waiting for rates to come down, or who knows. We're not going to assume what their friction point is or their objection. We're just going to ask the question. I'm not ready yet. Totally get it. Just curious, what would have to happen before you would consider yourself to be ready? And again, silence. Let them answer it. Whatever the response is, rephrase that back to them. Say that back to them in the form of a question. And let that be the doorway then for you to ask some more questions and dig a little bit deeper. And next one, hey, just send us some more listings, right? This is maybe someone that you've met at the open house and they're non-committal about anything. And they're just saying, well, why don't you just send us other things that you have in Folsom? Just send us some other, whatever other listings you have. Just go ahead and send those to me. Absolutely happy to do so. But just so that I send you the right ones, what are the three most important things you have in that next home? And they might kind of stutter, they might kind of give you a little bit of resistance. Oh, well, what do you mean? Well, if I'm going to be sending you homes, I don't want to send you everything because it's overwhelming and you get lost in it. It's been my experience that when I send out a broad search to somebody, they get frustrated because I'm showing them a lot of houses they don't like. So what would be like just three things that you want to make sure the homes have? So I send you just the best ones. And they tell you what those three things are. You say it back to them. Okay, cool. What? Anything else I should know about the home you're looking for? Okay, great. Let me get that set up. In the meantime, now you're closing for the appointment. And then that last one, we just need to think about it. Of course, I hear that a lot. What specifically do you still need to think about though? What specifically do you need to think through? Right? Let them verbalize it. So let me give you all a quick action step here before we move forward. After I sip my coffee. I think one day, Laura, we're gonna have like a bring your favorite coffee cup to work day. So everyone can show off their favorite coffee mugs that they're using.
Do you still have yours? Your
Uh,
your
you
C.
know what? I think I need a new one. Laura once upon a time bought me I don't think I do actually. Bought me a mug
I'm
that's
offended.
it said the world's most okayest boss. It said that I was a C plus. I was the most okayest. Wasn't good, wasn't great, wasn't nice, I wasn't considerate, I wasn't any of those things. I was okayest.
Right. Which is good enough.
Good enough. Better than somebody. Now I'm totally off track. Oh, okay, here's what it is okay, so as you read through these, okay, and not the objection piece, but the actual response back. Here's the homework I'm going to ask you to consider is if these words don't sound like you, If these words sound too abrasive or too forward, or if they sound too passive, rewrite these same responses in your words. Okay. If this is not something that you would say directly, how would you express this same thought? Now, here's my only caveat on doing that is the questions still need to be open-ended. They need to create curiosity. So the formula here is number one, affirm their objection, their concern by saying things like that makes sense. I can relate, of course, absolutely. But if the rest of the words that I have typed up on here aren't you, write them in a way that do sound like you so that they just roll off the tongue the next time someone says one of these types of things to you. And if you have a different objection besides one of these four that you commonly hear when you're on phone calls or at open houses, if you have something else, write that one down too, and then set up the formula with, again, affirming it and then asking a clarifying question that will get them to talk. Okay. So that's kind of an action item for everybody coming out of this. And I just want to give you guys a couple of tips. Here is thinking about some of the language that we typically use and replacing it with some stronger phrasing and some stronger words. Okay. As these were coming up, these are the ones that when I hear myself saying, I cringe. These are the ones when someone says it to me, I feel like it's not that strong of a statement, frankly. So rather than saying something like I was just calling to check in, I was just calling to see, I was just calling because. Simple. Laura, the reason I am calling today is blank. Just flip it. The next one is instead of saying maybe we could, it's just too passive there. It's not direct enough. People want to be led. They truly do. If they trust you, if they think that you are the guide to get them to their destination, they do want to be led. So rather than being passive and saying maybe we could, make that strong. Based upon what you shared, here's what I recommend. You could actually pair these next two phrases together. Based upon what you shared, the next logical step is that we get together. Would Tuesday or Wednesday be better? You see how those can kind of build on each other there? Based upon what you shared, the next logical step would be for us to sit down for 30 minutes so that we can build you a plan so that you can author your own plan. Would Tuesday or Wednesday be better? And I think this is a great thing for everyone to write down here at the bottom of the page. Is confidence is not pressure. Confidence is clarity delivered with care. You all know what it's like to feel like you've been sold. And I'm not gonna. We were talking yesterday about the guys that go door to door and sell pest service or go door to door and sell solar. Um, they have amazing scripts. It's not a judgment on anybody that presently does this or has done it in the past. I was actually really impressed by how on it they are with their scripts and their objection handlers. But we're not talking about pressuring anybody to do something that they don't want to do. We're not talking about pressuring anybody to do something that's not in their best interest. So that's not what confidence is about. What I suggest here is that confidence is clarity that you're delivering with care because you know that you can help them. You can confidently look them in the eye or the clarity come through in your voice that you are part of the solution to their problem. You can be the guide to get them from where they are to where they want to go. And when you deliver that confidently because you care, you're going to be much more successful. Oops. Okay. So last thought here, not last thought. Whenever I say last thought, Laura, you know me. It's never the last thought. It's the next thought. It's the like, it's getting near the last slide. And it's getting near the end of our time together this Wednesday. But I just want to make this point clear at the very end. Stop selling the appointment. Rather, sell what the appointment makes possible. What is it the appointment makes possible? Clarity. It makes possible them making a better decision. It makes possible that they're going to make fewer mistakes in the process. It makes possible that they're going to have confidence in their home buying or home selling experience. It makes possible that you're going to help them craft a personal plan that fits their needs. And when you do so, and when a client really understands the value of the meeting, asking for the appointment no longer feels like a closing. It just feels like helping. It's a natural progression, and I truly believe that when I'm at my best, these are the patterns that I follow. Now, I'm not always at my best. Sometimes I rush through this. Sometimes I make assumptions. I'm not always this chipper and flamboyant. Sometimes I'm dry and quiet and reserved. Sometimes. Um, when I've created clarity and I've come across with confidence and they understand that sitting down with me is going to lead them to a better decision, there really is no close. It just becomes automatic that the next step is to sit down and meet. I can say that with a lot of years of practice and a lot of years of experience. But guys, I honestly don't think that the secret is, hey, just wait till you've done this for 20 some odd years. I actually think if you just practice now, you'll get there very quickly. You just have to be conscious of the words you use and the patterns in which you deliver them. And you'll have the success starting today. If you commit to it, if you commit to the practice. So I want to give you guys this opportunity. I've got, you can't see it because of the stupid green screen, but I've got a 9-page workbook in my hand that I put together this is what I ran through with my team. So just real fast, if you guys have pen and paper in hand, write down my number. Write down my cell number. It's 916-799-1662. 916-799-1662. And this workbook, I think the team found really helpful. I found really helpful in putting together this material. I'm happy to send you a copy of what this is. So if you text me, that's the easiest way for me to know that you want a copy of it. And I'll just shoot it through. It is an elaboration of all these slides. It is adding in some more context. So some of the things I talked through today that weren't actually up on the screen are on these pages. Rather than just those 4 objections that we talked about a second ago, it gives a longer list of objections that you might be hearing. And then it gives you some opportunity to write in your own objections, some blanks in there to write in how you would phrase things differently. But it's just a more comprehensive look at what we talked about today. If you want to go in more in depth, this would be a great tool. In fact, what I told the team is this is one of those packages that we put together that just print it out and have it sitting next to your workstation. Put it on the clipboard, hang it on your wall next to your computer. And it could be a great reference guide for years and years to come on which words to use and how to overcome objections. So if you want a copy of that, just shoot me a text and I will I'll just attach it back in the text message and get it to you guys so that you can implement it and see how that goes for you. It's 8:29. I landed the plane.
You did a good job.
Yeah. Tell me how good I am, Laura. Tell me that I'm okay.
Don't don't send them. You're okay. Don't send them to them in pages though. I know I'm the abnormal that has,
Ah,
yeah. Make sure you
okay.
send it to them in a good format that they can
I
open.
I will download it as a okay. Okay.
Just
That
saying.
would make me just okayest. Okay, I will make it a PDF and then I'll attach it to the text message. Okay, sweet. All right, cool guys. Thank you very much for being here as always. My ask is that you take action off of something that we shared today. If there was some piece of value that you got from today's conversation, go use it. Go pick up a phone today, go call somebody, go practice, schedule your open houses for the weekend, use these types of conversation frameworks in those meetings, on those face-to-face meetings over the weekend. I believe if you implement these ideas, you are going to go farther, faster than the rest of the people over in our industry right now. So that's my hope for each one of you. So go make today count. It's the only one you got, and you're not promised tomorrow. And that got really dark really fast, but you get the idea. And I will see you next week. Good.